This is a really fun episode from a close friend of Taylor's who does a lot of working out with. But Michael's also a part of like this multinational global IT firm. And one of the things that we really took away from that episode was this idea that leadership style matters, right? And oftentimes when we're leaders and we have control over making decisions and causing things to happen, we kind of just make everyone deal with our way of doing things. But what we know is that because of personality, because of preferences, because of aptitudes, styles, and then the other thing we layer into this is cultures, different forms or styles of leadership can be much more or much less effective depending on how they're used, particularly when we're dealing with people who have a different way or a different logic for thinking about how to solve problems. He used an example of France. We talked about Japan. We talked about the United States. And we talked about how what one culture might interpret as being a great way to solve a problem, another culture might interpret as being a terrible way to solve a problem. And so for leaders who are leading distance teams, remote teams, teams that speak different languages, come from different cultural backgrounds, recognizing that the more that we can foster collaboration, the more that we can literally spend time together talking, not just about what we think, but how we should go about solving problems. And we can leverage a variety of personality types and styles for leading. We're going to be that much more effective. And so, one key question he gave us was to just simply ask yourself as a leader, how do my employees want to be coached and developed? How do my employees want to be coached and developed? And when we have clarity on how employees want to be coached and developed, when we actually have a conversation, we put in the time and the effort to have a conversation with them and to give them the opportunity to answer that question, we create a much higher likelihood for success. It reminded me of one of the things that we talked about on our very first episode, where it was just Taylor and I kind of introducing you guys to the idea of leadership paradoxes and to some of the paradigms that we would be talking about throughout this season. And we looked at situational leadership. And I introduced you guys to the situational leadership tool, which is essentially 4 parts, right? Directing. I do, you watch. Okay. So again, we're talking about styles of leadership, right? I do, you watch. Style 1. Style 2, the leader takes on a more coach or coach-like approach. I do, but you help, right? So we're in it together and the follower or the employee is helping as the leader is coaching them through the process. Support. This is a style where the leader actually changes hands with the employee or the follower and says, hey, you're going to do this and I'm going to help you. So you've got your hands on the wheel and now I'm coaching from the side. I'm coaching not as a player, but as a guide. And then finally, delegate, right? Which is exactly what you think it is. It's the leader really removing themselves from the operations or the administration of a situation and saying, hey, you do it. I'm going to cheer you on. And so, right here are 4 styles that you as a leader can apply on any given team and you can test, right? You can test it verbally in conversation and you can test it in your behaviors without using any words at all, if that's the better approach. But again, what we're asking is, what does a specific person or team need in this concrete situation in order to be successful? And then adjusting a leadership style based on that.